Ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Liam Oak here from Bled and Bandage MMA. I'm joined by Mr. Paul O'D, as always. Mr. O'D, you were talking to a new superstar in the making from Bellator MMA. Who have you got?
Yeah, so he's been on the scene for quite some time, but he's quietly making his moves. Been unfortunate with a few fights that didn't happen, believe it or not. Derek Anderson from Bellator welterweight division. He had a very impressive win last Thursday, and it was quite an interesting stoppage. So I reached out to him, wanted to talk to him about that. Yeah, look, he's a guy that has had 2 fights with Paul Daly fall through, 2 fights with Michael Venom Page fall through, and I think it's widely considered the MVP as the next contender for Douglas Lima's belt. So he kind of feels a little bit aggrieved, I'd imagine, that he hasn't got that shot yet, but he's quite vocal now at the moment that he does want the big fight, and that what's next for him is either a number 1 contender or to kind of put himself in a position to fight for a number 1 contender fight. But a guy that's definitely on the rise, and the finish on Thursday night, it was quite an interesting one. He fought Killis Mota and landed a kick when Killis Mota was on his way up from a grounded position. Now, my own opinion on Killis Mota kind of played up after the fact, and
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we spoke about this during the podcast. Like he kind of milked it a bit, like, and it backfired as well because he was expecting to win by DQ, and then
100%, and trying to kind of steal a win essentially is what he looked like he was trying to do. Derek Anderson took it well, to be fair, and gave respect to Killis Mota after the fight. But interesting to see a guy that kind of with so much momentum, and then kind of a win that you don't know whether it puts him forward or not, or but he took it very well. So it's an interesting interview.
So let's cue it up and have a listen.
So welcome to the show, Derek. How are you?
Good, brother. Thank you. How
Very
you doing?
good. I suppose we have to touch on it first. You were fighting on Thursday night. Big win over Killis Mota, but quite an interesting finish. And I know you've touched on it quite a bit, but I did want to get your kind of opinion on how it went down and what your frame of mind was right after that.
Yeah, well, I knew, like I throw that instinct a lot, but it's always fair. I'm a fair fighter, and he was coming up. I knew it, so I timed him, and he said it was early, and I should have just went and pounded his face, but I'm a fair fighter, so I didn't want to go fucking cheap shot him there, so I backed off him, and then the ref stepped in, and I had just told the ref right before the fight, hey, what's the rules over here? I throw this kick early when they get up, so I wanted to make sure I was solid, and I literally called it right before the fight, talking to Mike Beltran, and then I don't think Mike Beltran would have stepped back if I didn't, or stepped in if I didn't step back, so yeah. I had too much class on that one. I should have went and just pounded him, and then because there's no, I get the win, but there's no satisfaction from actually knocking him out, and I had full confidence in beating his ass. First round was nothing. I was taking it easy, and he was actually elbowing me in the back of the head against the cage there. I wouldn't have said nothing there either because I know how the game goes. But he got me like 4 or 5 times. And eventually, I was like, "Damn, like, don't do it." And then, but I would have got a takedown right there if he wasn't doing that. And it don't matter. I smoked him. He had nothing for me.
Yeah.
I mean, he chickened out. So.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that. You kind of you didn't go into too much detail in your post-fight presser, but there must have been a feeling that he was trying to steal the fight, if it were.
Yeah, something like that for sure. He was straight faking, and he just tried to get me to DQ, and it's like, come on, you want to win like that? I would never do that.
Like you
I'd have been on my feet.
Yeah,
Sorry.
You asked Beltran before the fight about the rules. Is it a bit strange, and is it kind of poignant that the way we're at the moment with the different rule sets in different states, and like is it about time that basically the unified rules were introduced everywhere, because fighters are going in not quite understanding where they're at with the rules?
Right. Yeah, for sure. It's tough, man. So that's why I wanted to clarify, because I know it's different in different states, and I just time it well. With my fair instincts, like from the streets when I was a kid, I never hit anybody when they fell down. If they got back up and wanted to keep fighting, I hit them again. You know what I mean? So with my instincts, my fair instincts, my own natural instincts, like he was getting up, you know what I mean? And like, it's not like I was like, his knees on the ground, his knees off the ground. It's not like I was doing that. I just timed him getting up. I knew he was getting up. and I timed that, and I mean, it's tough. If his hand was on this, in another state, I might have been in trouble, because his hand was on the ground still. But I know that wasn't a part of it. But it's not like I was like, his hand's on the ground, his knee's about to come off. I just timed him coming up. Like, I knew he was coming up, and he's about to be aggressive. You know what I mean? He was coming to fight. So I just timed him coming up, and yeah. So it's difficult. I got to slow that a little down now. I'm gonna slow it down now. It cashed in that time for that instinct, but I want to make sure I don't get any DQs in the future.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna slow it down a little bit and hold that back a second. And because I time that one all the time, and I usually kick right over their heads, actually.
Yeah.
But maybe slow it down a little bit, and then it'll probably line up right good with their face, and it's a good dangerous shot either way, so it scares them.
Of course, it makes them hesitate getting back up.
Yeah.
Other than that, I suppose the fight, was there anything unexpected in the fight, or did it kind of go, with the exception of the finish? Obviously, you couldn't have predicted that, but did the fight go as you expected, or is there anything that, like, it was Killis Mata bringing anything to the table that you weren't expecting?
He just ran a lot, he really ran. I've never seen anybody run so bad, and it was a good experience for me just to kind of have a guy that does that, but really it was no offense at all, and it was incredible. So I started dropping my hands, I was expecting that. I was expecting him to run, but I was expecting a little offense.
Yeah.
And I thought he wanted to run to get me to commit coming forward so he could chop my leg, because I seen him chopping legs before. But, I was coming forward, and, I took small steps because I knew what I was doing. I was being smart this time. I usually go in there real aggressive, and I was being a little smarter. And so I took smaller steps to walk him corner him into the fence, and he wouldn't commit to nothing. And then so I started committing, and then he really didn't like that. So he started trying to grapple. And, he felt strong or whatever, but he gave me everything he had in that first round, and I felt him slowing down quite a bit.
Yeah.
And, it's not like he was there's nothing I had that I was worried about. I was not worried about any of the grappling. When he started elbowing my back of my head, I kind of, I got my head out of there, so it wasn't possible to do that anymore. But then I feel like I'm just holding him on the fence, so and I don't fight like that. I fight hard. So I started kneeing him in the legs, which is not a usual thing I do. I should have just backed up and struck with him. He just had the takedown. So I was trying to get a little wrestling back on him. And then he tries to drop for that guillotine, which again, I'm not even scared at all. It's come on, bro, you're not going to get me with a drop guillotine, but, so he went for it. And then, I ended up getting out of there. And then, I think he was, I got out of that one. I don't remember exactly what happened after that, but I wasn't tripping about any of his ground game, I can't, because these guys are like, oh crap, Derek's crazy on the feet, I'm going to take him down. I'm like, look at my ground game, man. It's like, you're not going to tap me either.
Yeah. I do have to touch on, I see about an hour ago, maybe an hour and a half ago, you did post on social media that Paul Daly's after blocking you on social media. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, we've been lashed up a few times, and I never really, we never had too much exchange of words or anything like that. But one time I tried to post something calling him out. I'm always calling him and MVP out both too, because they're both big names. I want that. So, I actually spaced on Paul. That would have been a good idea to call him out first, because, we were both supposed to fight already. But I want that MVP fight too. I kind of feel past Paul anyway, so I just kind of forgot. But then I realized I didn't even call Paul out. I just called MVP out. So I just reposted something just to call him out too. But I'm blocked from him anyway. So, but I don't know. That'd be good because I'm going to be out there in Connecticut in 2 weeks or next week anyway. So I figured might as well fight again. I feel real good. And, I'm staying in shape. So, I didn't get hurt at all or anything. And I'm down to make some money, fight some big names,
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting you mentioned those two guys that you've been matched up, I believe, to fight both of them twice on two separate occasions. And fights have fallen through with injuries and different things. But do you feel like it's time now where you have to get that big opponent next to kind of make the move towards the title?
Yeah, I think it's coming. Bellator knows what I'm here for. And, I've had a little bit of a rough career last couple of years, trying to get fights. And, they know that I've been wanting them. I just had these setbacks and they're kind of ready to give them to me, I think. I jumped in 3 weeks notice for Paul Daly and, that didn't work out. But, they know I'm ready to step up, 3 weeks notice or anything, so.
Yeah. I did want to get your opinion as well on Douglas Lima's venture up to middleweight. What did you make of that after winning the title?
Well, Musashi's pretty good, man. So that jab is mean, but it kind of makes me think, Douglas Lima doesn't have too much more than that leg kick. He was kind of relying on that a little bit, and that thing's nasty. I don't want none of that. But when we train for something, I'll get then we get ready for it, and then I'm waiting for it. Like, where's that leg kick I've been training for? I got much confidence in my hands against any of these guys, like Mousasi too, in that heavier weight class. You know what I mean? Like, his jab probably hurt like a motherfucker, but then I get his timing and get right past it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing about me too, is I'm a fighter, ready to fight anybody. So but yeah, no, I was hoping he would do good, I guess. But I thought maybe Mousasi would do what he did pretty much, with a little bit more wrestling in there, I thought, or something. And it was good, like he was not letting that kick bother him at all, and then it got him a little bit at the end, but boy, he was walking him down. He was walking Lima down and throwing that. He's got good straight punches. He's so relaxed. It's really interesting, because I'm not a relaxed fighter usually. I might have looked relaxed in there, but I'm just waiting for this guy to start blowing with me. I want to just stand in the middle and throw punches. So if he won't do it, I got to freaking chase him down. So I might have looked relaxed, and I'm always a little jacked up, regardless if I looked relaxed or not. I'm trying to relax myself. That's the first time it kind of worked, but I think I'm gonna throw that shit out the window. I don't like being relaxed anyway. You know what I mean? Like, cause like I said, I took it easy on him the first round, and he got capitalized and stuff. I should have just took it to him, man. He would have been faded real quick.
And Lima not winning the belt, do you think that benefits the welterweight division? Because the fear, I suppose, with a two-way champ is that it kind of leaves the division in limbo if they're bouncing between two divisions.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know what his plan was, maybe to permanently move up if he did win it or something like that. I think he cuts quite a bit of weight. I actually cut weight with him a long time ago, and we were talking, and he was like, fuck that shit. And, I know I'd like to, that's why I moved up, man. I mean, I can still make lightweight, really, but, I'm good off of it, really. At this point, I'd like to not cut weight. It's way more, I feel better, so, he might have been thinking about staying up there, but either way, yeah, so it doesn't leave us in limbo. He said he's going to defend it. That's great. Hopefully I can get in there real soon.
Yeah. I do want to talk to you as well about training during COVID. So, has anything changed for you in the last, I suppose, 8 to 10 months in your training regime, or has things become more focused?
It's been through a lot of different ups and downs, and we're kind of getting back into a good regimen and stuff like that, and the gyms are back open, and, the showers at the gyms, and, yeah, it's going better and better. It was a little fucked up for a while there. At first, it was there was even times when it was cool, I had my place, and I had my backyard work gym with my bag and my pull-up bar and my weights and stuff. I go on a run, go work out every day, and had nothing else to do because I couldn't really leave the house, So there was times when that was all right too, but yeah, been through lots of times, and we're getting to a good time right now. I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to keep fighting. So
yeah, and I suppose staying active, I suppose, is a priority for you right now. I know a lot of people have touched on it. The inactivity and fighting kind of once a year has kind of been the norm for you with injuries and different things like that. Are you hoping to get 2-3 fights next year, or even one before next year?
Oh yeah, that'd be great to get one before next year. At first, because I'm gonna be out there next week, and I'd love to get one on there. And at first I was thinking, if I can't get that, then I'll just chill the rest of the year. Because when you train through a camp, you just kind of break yourself and don't listen to it. You just do it anyway. But when I just train a little bit more relaxed, I could kind of like just get better and just be healthy and stuff like that, and then grind out for a camp again. But so I was thinking about taking the rest of the year off, or not off, but just lighter training like that, and then getting back to it early next year. But now I think I'm ready to go whenever they want me. Like, I'm just gonna stay in shape. Obviously, yeah. I mean, I'll tone it down a little bit after this weekend or next weekend. Because I'll probably get it pretty good this week. But still not even like full camp. Just kind of, because I'm not expecting to fight. They said no already. I called out a couple guys, and what are they going to take it 2 weeks notice? Like, I understand, honestly. Like, I'm not trying to make them look like a bitch. I'm just like, I want to fight, So
yeah, you do have an interesting welterweight bout on that card this coming week. You have Yaroslav Amosov versus Logan Storley, 2 undefeated fighters. Will you be keeping an eye on that one, or?
Yeah, for sure. There's lots of COVID stuff going on, and you
never know.
I gotta be more of a spectator. I do this stuff and don't spectate enough. It's good. Because I know I'm not scared of anybody. 'Cause I don't see any of the good stuff they do.
And where do you see yourself in that welterweight division at the moment? Do you see yourself as one fight away, or do you believe you should be one of the next in line for the title?
I should be one of the next in line. I think, you know, I don't know how exactly close I am, but I definitely feel fearless and fully capable. And, you know, I think a lot of guys know that. And, you know, I don't know exactly where I stand, but I think mentally where I stand is quite high, you know.
Very good. Listen, it was a pleasure to have you on, Derek. Do you want to do any shout outs before we let you go?
Yeah, man, if you see this, just maybe give me a follow. I could use some followers, you know.
We have your Twitter handle underneath you there in the video anyway. And
well, Twitter, and then Derek Barbaric 1 for Instagram, and then, you know, Facebook. I don't think I can really make any money off of that, but Derek Barbaric Anderson.
Very good. Great to have you on,
Thanks,
buddy. And listen, good luck, and hopefully we get you a fight for next year.
Thank you, Paul. I'll talk to you next time, brother.
Before we let you go, I have to give a big shout out to David Duke House Clothing for hooking us up with some great gear. They have a great selection of t-shirts and hoodies available for MMA fans. We'll drop the link in the description below, and make sure to follow us on all social medias and like and subscribe.
If he was a girl, you would say he has a badonkadonk.
I'm cool with all the gods. Gods recognize gods.
This is #1 bullshit.
I'm not impressed by your performance.